Today, we are completely shattering the whole get-rich-quick illusion. Instead, we're looking at a literal cash cow, the compounding power of cattle farming. We aren't talking about some overnight crypto success here, all right? This is a data-driven masterclass on how you build a highly profitable legacy agricultural enterprise completely from the ground up.
To really understand why this business is just so incredibly profitable, we've got to look at the macro picture. Bottom line, the world is hungry. The global appetite for beef and dairy is surging year after year after year. And that built-in, unyielding human necessity, that creates the ultimate rock-solid bedrock of stability for your future business.
But hey, let's set some realistic expectations right out of the gate. Cattle farming is all about building practical, long-term wealth. It is absolutely not an overnight success scheme. You're dealing with living, breathing compound interest here. If you respect the timeline and rely on the data, the returns can seriously be phenomenal.
Okay, here's our playbook for today. First, we've got the bovine wealth blueprint. Then, starting on a budget, daily operations and herd health, the economics of scaling, defending your livestock empire, and we'll wrap it up with your long-term action plan.
Let's jump right into Section 1, the Bovine Wealth Blueprint, choosing your model.
So, if you're a beginner, you're immediately going to hit this first fork in the road: beef versus dairy. Beef cattle generally require way less intensive labor and lower initial infrastructure. I mean, they mostly just need to eat and grow, right? Dairy farming, on the other hand, gives you that really nice, steady daily cash flow, but it demands super expensive milking parlors and incredibly rigid schedules. Just remember, cows definitely don't take weekends off, so you really need to pick the model that actually fits your lifestyle and your budget.
Moving right along to Section 2, starting on a budget, minimizing initial capital.
You know, a totally fatal trap for beginners is believing they somehow need to own hundreds of acres to even get started. You absolutely don't. The financial contrast between leasing and buying is stark. By smartly leasing pasture, you keep your business asset light. You completely avoid the heavy anchor of a massive mortgage, which preserves your hard-earned cash so you can buy the actual income-producing assets, which are the cattle.
But listen, even when you're leasing, you still have some absolutely non-negotiable infrastructure needs. Long before a single hoof ever touches your grass, you've got to invest in secure perimeter fencing, clean water systems, basic shelter, and handling equipment. Skimping on this bare minimum foundation doesn't save you money. It literally just guarantees you'll have expensive, chaotic headaches down the road.
Okay, on to Section 3, daily operations and herd health, dealing with those grounded realities.
Day-to-day management is what absolutely dictates your profit margin. The first couple of steps are all about optimizing your grazing systems and managing pasture. Because when you manage pasture well, you are literally growing your own free feed. Then, steps 3 and 4 are your armor, implementing strict biosecurity and maintaining rigorous vaccination schedules. Honestly, a preventable disease outbreak can wipe out an entire year's profit overnight. Preventative vet care is always cheaper than trying to find a cure.
And go ahead and toss out that old school image of a farmer standing out there with a pitchfork. Today's most profitable farms run completely on data. By adopting AI, genetic selection tools, and modern management software, you can track exactly which cows convert feed to muscle the absolute fastest. You basically remove all the guesswork and build this hyper-efficient modern biological machine. Which brings us to Section 4, the economics of scaling, from 5 to 1,000 cattle.
So how do you actually scale this thing? Well, you do it by proving your unit economics on a micro level first. Starting with a pilot herd of, say, just 5 cattle lets you carefully weigh your hard annual expenses, stuff like feed and leases, against your expected annual profits at market. You really want to make your inevitable beginner mistakes on 5 cows, not 50, before you start pouring fuel on the fire.
And here is the true magic of agricultural compound interest. If you take the profits from those first 5 cattle and just relentlessly reinvest them right back into more breeding stock, your net worth absolutely explodes over a 5-year timeline. Your assets literally birth more assets. Keep your operational costs low, roll those profits back into the herd, and just watch that geometric expansion take hold.
Now, scaling safely also means diversifying your revenue streams. Don't just rely solely on the beef or milk market. You could sell premium breeding stock, produce calves for other farmers, or even turn waste into wealth by selling manure as fertilizer. Some farms even tap into agritourism or value-added products like artisanal cheeses. It's those multiple revenue streams that turn a pretty good farm into a totally unshakable business. All right, Section 5, defending your livestock empire, focusing on risk mitigation.
Building wealth means you have to proactively defend it from capital-destroying beginner traps. Just look at this breakdown. A massive chunk of failures come from taking on excessive debt. Leveraging up before you truly understand your cash flow is fatal. Add in overpaying for cattle, wasting capital on feed mismanagement, or dealing with poor breeding and disease, and your margins will just evaporate. Honestly, acknowledging these pitfalls up front is exactly how you survive them.
Because agriculture is fully exposed to the absolute chaos of nature and markets, risk management is your ultimate shield. You've got to stockpile feed for unexpected droughts and utilize specialized livestock insurance for catastrophic events. Diversification helps a ton too. These defensive strategies are what ensure that one bad season doesn't wipe out a decade of your hard-earned compounding wealth.
Finally, Section 6, your long-term action plan, taking the first step.
Now, this isn't just theory we're talking about. Real-world case studies consistently prove that when these strategies are applied, they produce significant, lasting wealth. The most successful farmers out there, they all started exactly where you are today. They kept their initial debt at zero, they mastered their pasture genetics, and they ruthlessly reinvested. Their success really is the exact blueprint we've been unpacking today.
So here is your actionable timeline. Your first 30 days are going to be purely about detailed setup, planning, budgeting, and securing leases. Your one-year roadmap is honestly all about survival, managing that micro herd, and tracking every single key performance indicator, from feed costs to weight gain. By year 5, you're systematically executing your growth strategy, reinvesting, scaling your acreage, and multiplying the herd. It's methodical, it's measured, and it is entirely achievable.
To wrap up this explainer, I'll just leave you with this to ponder. Are you going to keep chasing those volatile overnight schemes, or are you finally ready to start building a living, breathing, compounding livestock empire? The global demand certainly isn't going anywhere. The blueprint is right here in your hands, and the opportunity is literally out in the pasture. The only question is, when do you start? Thanks so much for hanging out with me today.